The day is finally done. You have arrived at the end of the hours, the end of the tasks, and the end of the demands. There is nothing left for you to solve right now. There is no email that needs an answer, no question that needs a solution, and no future that needs to be planned. All of those things belong to the sun, and the sun has gone away. Here, in this room, the world has shrunk down to the very edges of your bed. It is a small, safe kingdom of soft linens and cool pillows, a private space that exists only for you and for your rest. Take a moment to feel the physical reality of this safety. Feel the weight of your body settling into the mattress, like a heavy stone finding its place at the bottom of a clear, quiet stream. The water is still. The stone is unmoving. You are supported. You are held. You are here. Listen to the room around you. It might seem quiet, but if you listen closely, there is a texture to the air. Perhaps there is the rhythmic, steady hum of a fan, spinning the air into a gentle breeze. Perhaps there is the settle of the house, the wood and the beams cooling down after the heat of the day, releasing their energy in tiny, almost inaudible creaks. Maybe you can hear the distant, muffled sound of a car passing on a street far away, a sound that swells and then fades, reminding you that the world is moving, but you do not have to move with it. You are stationary. You are the observer in the lighthouse, watching the ships pass in the night, safe behind the glass. And closest of all, there is the sound of your own breath. It is a slow, rhythmic tide, moving in and moving out. It is the oldest rhythm you know, a constant companion that has been with you since the very beginning. Let your attention rest on that breath. Let it anchor you here, in the present moment, away from the lists and the logic of the day. But now, let us use the power of your mind to travel. We are going to leave this room, not with our bodies, but with our awareness. Imagine that you are gently lifting up, floating weightlessly above your bed. You rise through the ceiling, passing through the wood and the plaster as if they were made of mist. You rise above your roof, into the cool night air. Look down. You can see your home, a small, warm box of safety. You can see the street lights glowing like amber beads strung along the dark roads. You can see the cars moving like slow, red and white rivers, but you are rising higher. The sounds of the street begin to fade, the rumble of the tires, the distant bark of a dog, the hum of the neighborhood. It all begins to soften. It blends together into a low, gentle thrum, the heartbeat of civilization. As you drift higher, you begin to see the city or the town as a map of light. It is a sprawling web of electricity, a testament to human energy. Think of all the noise down there, not just the acoustic noise, the honking horns and the voices, but the digital noise, the invisible signals flying through the air, the messages, the data, the news, the urgency. The world down there is a place of constant vibration. It is a place of friction. Things rub against each other, tires against asphalt, ideas against arguments, worry against the mind. That friction creates heat and noise. It is the nature of the active world. It is the sound of doing. But you are no longer doing. You are ascending. You are rising above the friction. You drift up through the clouds. They are cool and damp, drifting like silent ships in the night sky. As you pass through them, the lights of the city below become blurry and soft, like a painting left out in the rain. The noise of the world is now just a whisper, a faint memory of a sound. You are entering the upper atmosphere. The air here is thin and crisp. The blue sky of the day has turned into a deep, rich indigo, darker than the deepest ocean. Here, the winds are high and steady, sweeping around the planet in great, silent currents. There are no birds here. There are no machines. There is only the vast, open sky, holding the earth in a gentle embrace, continue to rise. You are moving toward the edge of the atmosphere. The layer of air that hugs our planet is becoming thinner and thinner. This air is what carries sound. Sound is just a vibration of molecules, bumping into each other, passing the energy along like a crowd passing a message. But as you go higher, the crowd thins out. The molecules are further apart. They have to travel longer distances to touch each other. The capacity for noise is breaking down. The medium for chaos is dissolving. You are entering a zone where shouting is physically impossible. Even if the loudest alarm on earth were ringing right next to you, the sound would have no bridge to reach you. The silence here is not just a rule, it is a law of nature. It is a physical barrier that protects you from the noise. And then, you cross the threshold. You drift out of the envelope of the earth and into the open expanse of space. Pause here for a moment. Feel the profound shift. Down below, the earth hangs like a marble of blue and white, glowing softly against the dark. It is beautiful, but it is busy. Up here, there is only the velvet. This is what we call the vacuum, but that word sounds too harsh, too empty. Let us call it the great silence. It is a silence so complete, so heavy, and so pure that it feels like a presence. It is not the absence of something, it is the presence of peace. It is a clean slate. It is a fresh sheet of paper that extends for infinity in every direction. Imagine this silence wrapping around you. It feels cool and smooth against your mind. It is a luxury. Think of how rare true silence is in your life. We are always surrounded by the hum of refrigerators, the notifications of phones, the chatter of televisions, the internal monologue of our own worries. We pay for quiet. We buy noise-canceling headphones. We drive to the mountains. We build thick walls. We crave the absence of input. And here, in the vast spaces between the worlds, silence is the default setting. It is the natural state of the universe. The noise of Earth is the exception. The noise is a tiny, temporary anomaly. The silence is the rule. The silence is the ocean. And the noise is just a tiny island. Float here, in this suspension. There is no up and no down. There is no gravity pulling at your muscles, demanding that you hold yourself upright. You can completely let go. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. There is nothing to hold on to. And that is a good thing. You are floating in a sea of perfect stillness. In this place, there is no air to carry a deadline. There is no medium to transport an expectation. The vacuum of space is a perfect insulator against the demands of life. Nothing can touch you here. You are unreachable. You are off the grid in the most profound way possible. Look out into the distance. You see the stars. They are not flickering and twinkling as they do from Earth, without the atmosphere to distort their light. They burn steady and true. They are like diamond points of light, fixed and unmoving. They are silent watchers. They have been burning like this for billions of years, in absolute silence. They do not roar, they do not hum, they simply exist. They are radiating light, but they are keeping their secrets. This is the great silence that astronomers talk about. They look out into this vast, dark room, and they wonder why it is so quiet. They wonder why the universe isn't shouting at us. They wonder why we don't hear the radio stations of a million other worlds. But tonight, we do not need to solve that mystery with science. We only need to feel it with our souls. Tonight, the silence is not a puzzle to be solved. It is a gift to be opened. Imagine if the universe were noisy. Imagine if, when we looked up, the sky was filled with the sounds of traffic from other galaxies, the advertisements of alien empires, the chaotic signals of a trillion worlds. There would be no rest. There would be no escape. We would be trapped in a crowded room that never ends. But that is not our universe. Our universe is kind. It has given us space. It has placed the stars so far apart that their noise cannot reach us. It has buried us in a cushion of distance. The light years between the stars are not empty miles. They are layers of insulation. They are the thick velvet curtains drawn across the window of the galaxy to keep the light and the noise out, so that you can sleep. The universe has tucked us in. It has swaddled our solar system in a blanket of quiet so thick that it takes light itself years to travel through it. Drift deeper into this dark comfort. Feel the clean, cool sensation of the void. It washes over you, rinsing away the static of the day. Visualize the static of your mind. The little loops of thought, the fragments of songs, the snippets of conversation. Visualize them floating out of your head and into the vacuum. As soon as they touch the silence, they dissolve. They simply vanish. The great silence absorbs them effortlessly. It is big enough to hold all of your thoughts and still remain empty. It is vast enough to swallow all of your worries and still remain calm. You do not need to carry anything here. You can set it all down. The silence here is ancient. It is the same silence that existed before the earth was formed. It is the same silence that will exist long after the sun has faded. It is permanent. The noise of your day is temporary. It is a fleeting spike on a flat line. The peace is the baseline. Return to the baseline. Feel your breathing slow down to match the rhythm of this place. Slow and deep and quiet. In space, there is no rush. There is no clock ticking on the wall. A second, a year, a millennium. They all drift by in the same smooth current. You have stepped out of time. You have stepped out of the race. You are a traveler in the quiet. You are a guest in the great, dark library of the cosmos. And it is so peaceful here. The darkness is not scary. It is restful. It is like the darkness behind your closed eyelids. It is the color of sleep. It is the color of rest. Allow yourself to sink into it. Allow the boundaries of your body to soften, blending into the velvet around you. You are not separate from this silence. You are a part of it. You are made of the same atoms that float in the quiet spaces between the stars. You are returning to your element. As you float here, weightless and unburdened, you might begin to wonder about the other lights in the distance. You might wonder if there is anyone else out there, floating in their own quiet orbit, looking back at you. It is a beautiful question. It is a question that doesn't demand an answer right now. It just hangs there, glittering like a jewel. The universe is a vast place, filled with hidden corners and secret gardens, and because it is so big and so quiet, it invites us to dream. It invites us to wonder what might be hidden in the dark. We are often told to be afraid of the dark, to fear the unknown. But look around you. There is no danger here. There is only stillness. The dark is where the stars live. The dark is where the exhausted mind goes to recharge. The silence is not a sign of emptiness. It is a sign of potential. It is a canvas waiting for a painting. It is a stage waiting for a play. And right now, the stage is empty, the lights are dimmed, and the curtain is down. The universe is in intermission. It is resting, and it is inviting you to rest with it. So, let us drift a little further. Let us push off from the edge of the atmosphere and float deeper into the sea of night. Let us explore this great silence, not as a lonely void, but as a sanctuary, a place where we can be alone without being lonely, a place where the questions of the cosmos are not problems to be solved, but lullabies to be heard. The day is behind you, the noise is below you, you are free, you are safe, you are drifting in the gentle, silent arms of the galaxy. And as we drift, we can begin to look at the stars with new eyes, not just as distant fires, but as neighbors in a very quiet, very peaceful street. Let us wonder, with a slow and heavy curiosity, about the mystery of the quiet. Why is it so still? Is the universe empty, or is it simply holding its breath, waiting for us to fall asleep? From this vantage point, floating in the velvet quiet, the true scale of our neighborhood begins to reveal itself. When you stand on the ground and look up, the sky feels like a dome, a ceiling painted with a few thousand points of light. But here, immersed in the drift, the ceiling dissolves. You realize you are not looking at a flat surface, but into a deep, three-dimensional ocean. The lights you see are not painted on. They are floating at different depths, some close enough to be neighbors, others so far away that their light has been traveling since before the first human opened their eyes. It is a staggering amount of light. If you were to try and count them, one by one, giving each star a single second of your attention, you would not finish in a lifetime. You would not finish in 1,000 lifetimes. There are billions of stars in our own galaxy alone, billions of suns, each one holding its court of planets, moons, and drifting rocks. Imagine for a moment that each of those stars is a house. Imagine the Milky Way, not as a cold collection of gas and gravity, but as a sprawling, glowing city at night. You are standing on a hill, looking down at this city. You see the windows glowing with golden light. You see the porch lights flickering on. It looks lived in. It looks warm. When we see a city from a distance, our minds automatically fill in the details. We assume that behind every glowing window, there is a family eating dinner, or someone reading a book, or a child sleeping. We assume that where there is light, there is life. It is a natural human instinct. We look at the lights, and we expect to find others like us. We expect the city to be buzzing with conversation, with traffic, with the hum of activity. This brings us to the great, beautiful mystery that hangs over our heads every night. It is a question that scientists call a paradox, but tonight, let us call it a whisper. If there are so many lights, and so many houses, and so much time, where is everyone? It is the most natural question in the world. If you walked into a massive banquet hall, with tables set for 1 million guests, with candles lit and food served, but the room was completely silent, you would pause. You would look around. You would wonder why you seem to be the only one there. This is the feeling of the Fermi paradox. It is the realization that the universe is set up perfectly for life, yet when we listen, we hear only the static of the stars. Usually, when people ask this question, it comes with a shiver of fear. They worry that something is wrong. They worry that the silence means danger. But tonight, I want you to feel the silence differently. I want you to feel it as a form of intimacy. Think of a vast, ancient library. Imagine a library so large that you cannot see the back wall. The ceiling stretches up into the shadows, high and vaulted like a cathedral. The shelves are made of dark, polished wood, and they are filled with endless rows of books. The air smells of old paper, leather binding, and dust, that comforting, dry scent of knowledge and time. You are walking through the aisles of this library. The floorboards creak gently under your feet, a sound that emphasizes how quiet the room is. You are wandering through the section of the library labeled the Milky Way. There are billions of books here. Each book represents a world. Some are thick and heavy, filled with complex histories. Some are thin and new, just beginning their stories. You run your fingers along the spines as you walk. You are looking for another reader. You are looking for someone else who is awake. Someone else wandering the aisles with a lantern, looking for a story. You expect to turn the corner and see a table full of students, or a librarian sorting cards, or a group of friends whispering in the corner. But aisle after aisle, the library is empty. The chairs are pushed in, the tables are clear, the lamps are glowing with a soft, green light. But there is no one sitting under them. Does this emptiness make the library scary? No, it makes it yours. There is a profound sense of peace in having a library to yourself. You can walk at your own pace. You can sit in any chair you choose. You can pull any book from the shelf and open it, knowing that no one will disturb you. The silence of the library is not a sign of abandonment. It is a sign of sanctity. It is a protected space. If the library were full of millions of people, talking, shouting, running, and arguing, the magic would be lost. The reverence would be broken. The fact that it is empty means that you have the privilege of solitude in a place of infinite possibility. The silence amplifies your own presence. It makes your own thoughts clearer. It makes your own breath the most important rhythm in the room. We often think that for life to be meaningful, it must be noticed. We think we need an audience. We think that if we shout into the void and no one shouts back, our voice is wasted. But the cosmic library teaches us something else. It teaches us that the story exists whether or not anyone is reading it. The silence of the universe might simply mean that we are the first ones to arrive at the library this morning. The doors have just opened. The lights have just flickered on. We are the early risers. We have the distinct honor of walking through the pristine, untouched corridors of space before the crowds arrive. We are not lost. We are simply early. And there is a special kind of joy in being the first one awake, tiptoeing through a quiet house while everyone else sleeps. Consider the ingredients of this universe. If we were to write a recipe for life, it would look like a shopping list for a very simple meal. You need some water, swirling and cool. You need some carbon, the soot of stars. You need a source of heat, like a gentle sun. And you need time, lots and lots of time. When we look out at the galaxy, we see these ingredients everywhere. The universe is messy with the building blocks of life. It leaves them lying around in great, drifting clouds. It sprinkles them onto the surface of planets. It mixes them into the ice of comets. This is what we call the equation of possibility. We don't need complex math to feel the truth of it. We just need to look at the abundance. The universe is not stingy. It is overflowing with potential. So, the mystery deepens, but it softens. If the kitchen is stocked and the stove is on, why are we the only ones eating? Perhaps the silence is a curtain. Perhaps the other lives in the universe are not gone, but they are quiet, just like you are trying to be right now. Maybe they have learned that the best way to exist in a dark, beautiful forest is not to chop down the trees and build a highway, but to sit quietly by the fire and watch the embers. Maybe the advanced civilizations aren't broadcasting news and music because they have moved past the need for noise. Maybe they are all in their own private libraries, reading their own books, enjoying their own peace. They are respecting the silence of their neighbors. This idea changes the way we look at the dark. When you look out of your window tonight, or when you close your eyes and visualize the star-filled void, do not see it as a cold, indifferent distance. See it as a canvas. A blank canvas is not empty in a sad way. It is empty in an inviting way. It is waiting for paint. The silence of the universe is a canvas for our imagination. Because we haven't met anyone yet, we are free to dream of them in the kindest possible ways. We can imagine neighbors who are wise, gentle, and peaceful. We can imagine civilizations that have solved the problems we are still struggling with. The silence allows us to project our highest hopes onto the stars, rather than our fears. Think of a child standing at the edge of a forest at twilight. The sun has set, and the trees are turning into silhouettes against the deep blue sky. The forest is quiet, except for the rustle of leaves and the snap of a twig. The child looks into the trees. They don't know what is in there. It could be anything. But if the child feels safe, If they are standing on their own back porch, that mystery becomes magical. They peer into the gloom and imagine fairies, or sleeping deer, or hidden tree houses. The unknown is a playground for their mind. We are that child. We are standing on the back porch of Earth, looking out into the galactic forest. It is twilight in the universe. The stars are the fireflies blinking in the trees, and we are free to wonder what is out there without needing to know the answer right now. The need for an answer is a daytime need. The day is for facts, for data, for certainty. The night is for wonder. The night is for questions that float like balloons, untethered and light. Where is everyone? Is a heavy question if you demand a coordinate and a name. But if you hold it gently, it becomes a lullaby. Where is everyone? Becomes a way of saying, look how much room there is. Look how much space we have to breathe. The silence is not a cage, it is a sprawling, open field. It is permission to expand. It is permission to be the center of your own world for a little while longer. Let the weight of the paradox drop away. You do not need to solve the Drake equation to sleep. You do not need to find a radio signal to feel connected. The connection is in the shared materials. You are made of the same stuff as those silent stars. You are burning with the same energy. You are a book in the same library. The fact that the aisle is quiet just means you can read your own story without interruption. It means you can listen to the rhythm of your own heart without it getting lost in the crowd. Drift through this imaginary library a little longer. Smell the dust and the parchment. Feel the coolness of the air. See the dust motes dancing in the beams of starlight that cut through the high windows. It is a place of absolute tranquility. There is no rush to find the other readers. If they are there, they are likely doing exactly what you are doing, finding a quiet corner, curling up and resting. We are all alone together in the dark. We are all sharing the silence, and there is a profound beauty in that shared quiet. A silent pact between the stars to keep the noise down, to keep the lights low, and to let the young world sleep. As we move deeper into this night, we will leave the vast, open aisles of the galaxy and turn our attention to one specific shelf, one specific book. We will look at the rarity of our own little corner, but for now, just enjoy the space, enjoy the room. The universe has cleared the floor for you. It has dimmed the lights for you. It has hushed the audience for you. The great silence is not an emptiness to be filled. It is a blanket to be pulled up to your chin. It is the hush of the world waiting for you to dream. Now that we have made peace with the vastness of the library, let us narrow our focus. Let us walk down one of those long, silent aisles and find the single shelf where our story lives. Let us find the one book that is glowing with warmth. It is easy to feel small when we look at the size of the universe. It is easy to look at the billions of stars and feel that we are just a speck of dust floating in a random sunbeam. But there is another way to look at it. There is a perspective that turns that feeling of insignificance into a feeling of profound treasure. If you were walking through a vast, dry canyon, a landscape of red rock and dry dust extending for miles, and suddenly, in a small, hidden crevice, you found a single, perfect orchid blooming. How would you feel? You wouldn't feel that the orchid was lonely. You would feel that it was miraculous. You would marvel at how it managed to grow in such a harsh place. You would see the miles of dry rock not as a wasteland, but as a frame that highlights the beauty of the flower. The universe is that canyon. It is a place of extremes. It is a place of violent fires and freezing voids. It is a place of crushing gravity and empty vacuums. Most of the universe is not designed for life. It is designed for rocks and gas and silence. But here, in this tiny pocket of the galaxy, the conditions are different. Here, the orchid has bloomed. The silence of the rest of the universe serves to highlight just how special this planet is. We are not stranded. We are sheltered. We are not forgotten. We are the exception. To understand this, we have to look at the incredible string of coincidences that allows you to be lying in your bed right now, breathing comfortably, safe and warm. It is a story of luck so improbable that it feels like magic. It begins with the fire, our star, the sun. In the cold expanse of space, heat is the most precious currency. If we were too far away, like the distant planet Mars, our water would be locked in ice, frozen solid as rock. The blood in our veins would not flow. The world would be a silent statue of frost. But if we were too close, like Venus, the heat would be crushing. The atmosphere would be a thick, choking blanket of steam and acid. The oceans would boil away into the clouds. There would be no rest, only a frantic, burning storm. But we are not too close, and we are not too far. We are in the sweet spot. We are in what the storytellers call the Goldilocks zone. Think of it like sitting by a campfire on a cold night. If you sit right in the flames, you burn. If you sit back in the shadows, you shiver. But there is a narrow ring of space, just a few feet wide, where the heat radiates against your skin perfectly. It warms you without hurting you. It chases away the chill without scorching your clothes. Earth sits in that narrow ring. We are walking a cosmic tightrope. For billions of years, our planet has stayed on this path, circling the fire at exactly the right distance to keep our oceans liquid, to keep our air breathable, and to keep you warm under your covers. This is the first miracle, the miracle of the perfect distance. It is a balance that is rare in the chaotic dance of the galaxy. But distance is not enough. A flower in a canyon needs more than just sunlight. It needs protection from the wind and the falling rocks. Our solar system is a busy place, filled with the debris of creation, wandering asteroids, comets of ice, and heavy stones left over from the birth of the planets. These wanderers hurtle through the dark at impossible speeds. If they were to strike the Earth constantly, life would never have a chance to settle down. We would be constantly restarting, constantly recovering from the impact. But we have a guardian. Out in the deeper dark, beyond the asteroid belt, sits the giant, Jupiter. Visualize this massive planet, a swirling ball of storms and gas, so large that you could fit 1,000 Earths inside it. It is beautiful, with its stripes of ochre and cream, but it is also a beast of gravity. It is the vacuum cleaner of the solar system. Because it is so heavy, its gravity pulls on everything around it. It acts as a shield for us. When comets or asteroids come flying in from the outer dark, aiming for the inner solar system, Jupiter catches them. It pulls them off course. It swallows them up or flings them out of the neighborhood entirely. It takes the blows so that we don't have to. It has been doing this for billions of years. A silent, stoic big brother standing at the gate, keeping the yard safe for the little ones to play. Without that giant in the distance, your night sky would not be so peaceful. The silence you enjoy is a gift from the gravity of Jupiter. And we have another partner closer to home. Look up in your mind's eye and see the moon. It is not just a nightlight, it is an anchor. Without the moon, the Earth would be a wobbly, unstable thing. As our planet spins, it has a tendency to tip over, to wobble on its axis like a dying spinning top. If the Earth wobbled too much, the North Pole could suddenly flip to face the sun, turning the Arctic into a boiling desert and the equator into a land of ice. The climate would be chaotic and violent. Seasons would not exist as we know them. But the moon is there, holding us steady. Its gravity reaches down and grips the Earth, calming our spin, keeping our tilt stable. Think of a dancer spinning across the stage. If they spin too fast, they get dizzy and fall. But if they hold hands with a partner, they can spin smoothly, elegantly, finding a center of gravity between them. The moon is our partner. We are holding hands with it across the vacuum. It keeps our seasons in rhythm: spring, summer, autumn, winter. A predictable, gentle cycle that allows life to plan, to grow, and to rest. The gentle rocking of the tides, the water moving in and out on the sand, is the breathing of this partnership. You are being rocked to sleep by the gravity of the moon, a celestial cradle that has never stopped moving since the birth of the world. These are just the physical protections. But think of the time it took to build the room you are lying in, not the wood and the drywall, but the biological room, the environment of Earth. For a long time, the Earth was not ready for us. It was a world of volcanoes and grey skies. The air was thick with carbon and sulfur. It was a chemistry experiment, bubbling and hissing. It took billions of years of slow, patient work to turn that rock into a garden. Tiny, microscopic life forms had to work for eons, breathing in the sunlight and breathing out oxygen, molecule by molecule, day by day, filling the atmosphere with the sweet, clean air that you are breathing right now. Take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. That air is an inheritance. It is a gift left to you by the ancestors of the Earth, the tiny algae and the ancient forests that labored in the silence to build a protective layer around the planet. They created the ozone layer, a thin shield high in the sky that blocks the harsh radiation of the sun. Without that shield, the sunlight would be a laser, sterilizing the ground. But because of that history, the light is gentle. It feeds the plants. It warms your face. The Earth is not just a rock. It is a spaceship that has been terraformed from the inside out, customized perfectly for your needs. When we consider all of this, the perfect distance, the giant shield of Jupiter, the stabilizing hand of the moon, the breathable atmosphere, the magnetic field that deflects the solar wind, we begin to realize how fragile and precious this situation is. It is like a house of cards that has stood for 4 billion years. It is a statistical impossibility. And this brings us back to the silence. Why is the universe so quiet? Perhaps it is because getting all of these things right, all at the same time, is incredibly difficult. Perhaps life is not common because life is hard. If life were easy, if every rock in the sky was covered in moss and every star had a civilization, then you would be nothing special. You would be just another blade of grass in an endless field. But if the rare earth hypothesis is true, then you are the orchid in the canyon. You are a diamond found in a mountain of coal. The silence of the universe is not ignoring you. It is framing you. It is the dark velvet on which the jewel of earth is displayed. The fact that we haven't found anyone else yet makes your existence more poignant, more significant, and more valuable. You are the universe's way of feeling things. Without you, without the life on this planet, the universe would just be physics. It would just be rocks crashing into rocks, gas burning into plasma, gravity pulling on mass. There would be no one to feel the warmth of the sun. There would be no one to enjoy the sound of rain. There would be no one to dream. You are the sensory organ of the galaxy. You are the part of the universe that woke up, and because you are so rare, you are protected. The isolation of Earth is its safety. We are hidden away in a quiet suburb of the Milky Way, far from the dangerous black holes and the exploding stars of the galactic center. We are tucked away in a safe harbor, allowed to grow and learn at our own pace. So, when you feel the quiet of the night pressing in, do not let it make you feel small. Let it make you feel chosen. You have won the cosmic lottery. Out of all the atoms in the universe, the ones that make up your body were lucky enough to come together here, in the Goldilocks zone, under the watch of the moon, in the shelter of the atmosphere. You have been given a ticket to the most exclusive show in existence, the experience of being alive, the experience of consciousness, the experience of rest. The silence outside is a sign of respect. The universe is holding its breath so that you can sleep. It has cleared the stage so that you can have your moment of peace. Everything that has happened in the history of the solar system, the collisions, the cooling, the drifting of the continents, has led to this specific moment where you are safe enough, warm enough, and calm enough to close your eyes. You are the result of 1 billion years of work. You are the masterpiece that the galaxy was trying to paint. Let that feeling of worth settle into your bones. You are not an accident. You are a rarity. You are the flame that the universe is cupping its hands around to protect from the wind. And because you are so valuable, your only job right now is to maintain the machine. Your only job is to rest, to let the body repair itself, to let the mind drift. You have permission to disconnect because you are already where you need to be. You are in the sanctuary. The walls of the canyon are high and strong, and the flower is safe in the valley. Feel the gravity of the earth pulling you down into the mattress. That is the same gravity that holds the moon. It is a friendly force. It is the earth hugging you, keeping you from drifting off into the cold. Feel the warmth of the blankets. That is the energy of the sun, trapped and stored for you. You are cradled in a web of cosmic forces that are all balanced perfectly to keep you safe. There is no need to worry about the tilt of the axis or the orbit of the asteroid. The systems are automatic. The guardians are at their posts. The giant is watching the gate. The anchor is holding the ship. The air is clean. The night is still. You can let go of the need to control. The universe has been managing these things long before you were born, and it will manage them long after you sleep. You are a passenger on a very large, very safe ship that is sailing through a quiet ocean. The course is set, the water is calm, and you have the best cabin on the whole vessel. As we drift further into the night, we can begin to look at the time it took to get here. We can look at the long, slow morning of the universe. We can see that we are not just lucky in space, but we are lucky in time. We are the first ones at the party. We are the ones who get to see the sunrise. But for now, just rest in the knowledge of your own rarity. Rest in the knowledge that in a universe of dust and fire, you are the water and the dream. You are the exception. And the silence is just the universe respecting the miracle. Time is a strange thing. When we look at the history of our world, we feel small. We read the history books and see empires rising and falling, glaciers moving back and forth, and continents drifting apart, and we feel like we have arrived at the very end of a long, long story. We tend to think that the universe is old. We hear the number 13, 8 billion years, and it sounds like an eternity. It sounds like the book is almost finished, and because we think the universe is old, we worry that we have missed the party. We worry that the great civilizations have already risen and faded away, leaving us alone in the ruins. We worry that the silence is the silence of a graveyard, but there is another possibility, one that changes the feeling of the silence completely. What if the universe is not old? What if the universe is incredibly, impossibly young? When astronomers look at the life cycle of stars, they see that the stars we see tonight are just the first generation of stable lights. The universe has enough fuel to keep burning for trillions and trillions of years. If you were to squeeze the entire lifespan of the universe into a single human year, we are not in December. We are not even in June. We are in the very first seconds of January 1st. The party has not ended. The party has not even begun. We are the very first guests to walk through the door. To understand this, we have to look back at what came before. For a long time, the universe was not a place where you could rest. In the beginning, right after the first spark, everything was too hot. It was a blinding, scorching fog of energy. Atoms could not hold hands. They were smashed apart by the heat. There were no stars, only a glowing soup of particles. It was a time of noise and violence. Then came the darkness, and then came the first giant stars. But these stars were volatile. They lived fast and died young, exploding in violent tantrums that sterilized their neighborhoods. It was a construction zone. There were debris flying everywhere, radiation storms sweeping through the dark, and gravity crunching matter into black holes. It was not a garden, it was a volcano. It took billions of years for the fires to settle down. It took billions of years for the universe to cool off enough to allow carbon to settle, and water to pool, and planets to stabilize. We are living in the first moment of true calm. We are living in the first Goldilocks time. The universe had to get the temperature just right, not just in space, but in time. And it seems that we have woken up right at the moment the temperature became perfect. The dust has settled, the radiation has faded, the stars have settled into a steady, reliable burn. The dangerous work of building the cosmos is mostly done, and now the habitable era has begun. Think of it like waking up early in a large house filled with sleeping people. You open your eyes and the room is grey and dim. You look at the clock and see that it is 4 a.m. The world outside is still dark. You slide out of bed and walk into the hallway. The floorboards are cool under your feet. You walk into the living room, and it is perfectly still. The curtains are drawn. The furniture is heavy in silent shadows. You are the only one awake. Is the house empty? No. It is full of family, full of friends, but they are all asleep. They haven't woken up yet because it isn't their time. This is the early bird theory. It suggests that humanity is one of the very first civilizations to ever open its eyes. We are the elders of the future. When we look out at the Milky Way and see nothing but silence, it is not because everyone is dead. It is because everyone else is still unborn. The civilizations that will fill this galaxy with art and music and radio waves are still waiting in the atoms of the stars. They are waiting for the planets to cool. They are waiting for the simple algae to do their work. They are waiting for their turn in the cosmic morning. There is a profound sense of peace in this realization. If we are the first, then the pressure is off. We don't need to catch up to anyone. We don't need to impress anyone. We don't need to worry about being judged by some superior galactic council. We are the pioneers. We are the big brothers and big sisters of the galaxy. We are the ones who get to explore the pristine wilderness before the trails are marked. We get to name the mountains. We get to name the stars. We get to set the table for the guests who will arrive in 1 billion years. Imagine sitting in that quiet kitchen at 4 a.m. You make a cup of tea. The steam rises up in the quiet air. You sit by the window and watch the very first hint of blue touch the horizon. You are alone, but you are not lonely. You have a secret. You have the luxury of the quiet hours. You know that in a few hours, the house will be noisy. There will be breakfast to make, and doors slamming, and people talking. But for now, you have the sanctity of the dawn. You can think your own thoughts. You can just be. The silence of the universe is the silence of that early morning. The great silence is just the sound of the rest of the universe sleeping. It is a peaceful, heavy slumber. The stars are the night lights left on in the hallway. The planets are the beds, and the life that is to come is dreaming in the dark. We are the first ones to wander into the kitchen, to look out the window, and to realize how beautiful the yard looks before the footprints cover the snow. We are the witnesses of the dawn. This perspective shifts our responsibility. We are not the victims of a lonely universe. We are the stewards of a young one. We are the caretakers. If we are the first, then we are the ones who get to decide what civilization looks like. We are setting the template. The silence is not a void. It is a space for us to fill with our own dreams. It is an invitation to take our time. There is no rush. The universe has all the time in the world. It is not going anywhere. The stars will burn for billions of years more. We have eons to learn, to grow, to figure ourselves out. When you feel anxious about your own life, about being late or behind on your own milestones. Remember the early bird. We are all early. We are all existing in the preamble of the great story. The universe is just clearing its throat. You do not have to hurry. The sun is barely up. The dew is still on the grass. You have arrived at the perfect moment to simply enjoy the morning air. Allow this feeling of earliness to seep into your body. Let it relax your muscles. You know that feeling when you wake up and realize it is a Saturday and you have nowhere to be. That is the feeling of the early bird theory. It is the realization that the alarm clock is not going to ring for a very, very long time. You can roll over, you can pull the covers up, you can go back to sleep. The universe is not expecting anything from you right now. It is just happy that you are here. The first conscious mind to appreciate the sunrise. Think of the generations who will come after us, not just human generations, but the civilizations that might rise on other worlds around other stars in 5 billion years. They will look back at this time, our time, as the mythic era. They will look back at the silence of the sky as a golden age of peace. They will wonder what it was like to look up and see the stars without the interference of galactic trade routes or artificial lights. They will envy us. They will envy the quiet. They will envy the privacy. We are living in the time they will write poetry about. We are the ancients they will dream of. So, be an ancient. Be a wise, calm elder. Elders do not rush. Elders do not panic. Elders sit on the porch and watch the light change. They understand the long, slow rhythm of the seasons. They know that everything happens in its own time. You can adopt that slow, steady rhythm for your own breath. Breathe in the ancient air. Breathe out the rush of the modern world. You are synchronized with the timeline of the stars. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, exactly when you are supposed to be there. The silence outside your window is not empty space. It is potential. It is the pause before the music starts. And pauses are beautiful. In music, the rest is just as important as the note. Without the silence, the melody would just be noise. We are living in the rest. We are living in the fermata, the note that is held and held and held, stretching out into a beautiful sustain. Let yourself float in that sustain. Let yourself vibrate with the quiet hum of a universe that is waiting patiently for the future to arrive. As you lie here, you can feel a sense of camaraderie with the future. You are holding the space for them. You are keeping the library warm. You're keeping the lights on. It is a noble job, but it is an easy one. All you have to do is exist. All you have to do is perceive. By seeing the universe, you are waking it up. By hearing the silence, you are giving it meaning. You are the consciousness of the early morning. And the best part about waking up early is that you can always choose to go back to sleep. You have seen the sunrise. You have checked the locks. You have seen that the house is safe and the family is sleeping soundly. There is nothing else to do. You can return to your warm bed with a smile, knowing that you have the whole day ahead of you. But right now, it is still time for dreams. The dawn is long. The sunrise is slow. You have millions of years before the day truly begins. Drift on that ocean of time. The waves are gentle here. They are the waves of a calm, morning sea, lapping against the shore of the future. The water is clear and cool. You can see all the way to the bottom. There are no monsters in this water, only the smooth stones of history waiting to be written. You are the author, but the pen is resting on the table. Tonight is not for writing. Tonight is for resting. Tonight is for enjoying the privilege of being the first. We have explored the space around us and found it to be a sanctuary. We have explored the time we live in and found it to be a quiet morning. The silence is safe. The silence is young. But as we drift deeper into this relaxation, as we let the concept of earliness soothe our worried minds, We might start to look at the distance between the stars in a new way. We might start to see the gaps not just as empty space, but as a barrier, a shield, a moat around our castle. If we are the first ones here, then the forest of the universe is ours. But even in a safe forest, it is nice to have a thick door. It is nice to have a wall. In the next stage of our journey, we will explore why the distance between the stars is the greatest comfort of all. We will see how the vast, insurmountable miles are the very thing that guarantees our peace. We will move from the quiet morning house to the hidden, protected castle. But for now, just breathe. Breathe in the dawn. Breathe out the night. You are early. You are safe. You are the first. When we look at a map of the galaxy, or when we see those diagrams of the solar system in a textbook, our first reaction is often a sense of vertigo. The distances are simply too big for the human mind to hold. We are told that the Earth is a marble and the Sun is a beach ball, and if we scaled the universe down to that size, the next nearest star would be thousands of miles away. It feels like we are stranded. It feels like we are floating on a tiny raft in the middle of a boundless, terrifying ocean. The sheer scale of the nothingness between the stars can make us feel isolated, as if the universe is an indifferent, cold place that has spaced us out so far apart because it doesn't care about connection. We see the black gaps on the map and we label them empty. We label them lonely. We label them void. But tonight, I want you to take that map and turn it upside down. I want you to look at those distances not as a barrier to connection, but as a barrier to harm. I want you to reimagine the structure of space. Think of the Earth not as a raft lost at sea, but as a castle, a great stone keep, warm and lit from within, standing on a solid island. And the space around us, that vast, dark, silent gap that stretches for light years, is not an ocean of abandonment. It is a moat. It is a wide, deep, protective channel of water that circles our castle. The king does not build a moat because he hates the world outside. He builds a moat because he loves the peace inside. He builds it to ensure that the noise, the armies, and the chaos of the wild lands cannot simply walk up to his door. The wider the moat, the safer the castle, and our moat is very, very wide. This is the shield of distance. It is the universe's way of quarantining the quiet worlds from the violent ones. It is a form of cosmic zoning. If the stars were all crowded together, huddled close like houses in a dense city, there would be no peace. A city is exciting, yes, but it is also dangerous. In a crowded galactic city, if a neighbor's star exploded, our sky would burn. If two black holes collided a few streets over, the gravitational waves would shake our planet to its core. If a civilization nearby decided to be loud, or aggressive, or careless, we would have no choice but to deal with it. We would be living in a thin-walled apartment with noisy neighbors on every side. But we do not live in an apartment. We live on a country estate. We live on a homestead with acreage that extends for trillions of miles. The nearest star to us, Proxima Centauri, is over 4 light years away. That is 25 trillion miles of buffer zone. Imagine that number not as a math problem, but as a cushion. Imagine layers and layers of thick, soft cotton wool wrapped around our solar system. Every mile of that distance is a layer of protection. Every mile is a filter. By the time any energy, any radiation, or any physical object crosses that distance, it has lost its power. It has been diluted by the vastness. The distance takes the sharp edges off the universe. It turns the roar of a supernova into a faint, pretty light in the sky. It turns the violent events of the cosmos into gentle, silent stories that we watch from a safe distance. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood concepts in physics, the speed of light. We are often taught to be frustrated by the speed of light. We are told it is a limit, a cosmic cage that keeps us trapped in our own backyard. We complain that it takes too long to send a message, too long to travel to Mars, too long to reach the stars. We see it as a failure of the universe to be faster. But what if the speed of light is not a bug, but a feature? What if it is actually a universal speed bump? The universe has a speed limit, and it is strictly enforced. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can travel faster than light, no matter how advanced a civilization becomes, no matter how powerful their engines. They cannot break the law of causality. They cannot snap their fingers and appear on our lawn. This speed limit is the ultimate peacekeeping mechanism. It forces the universe to be slow. It forces the universe to be deliberate. It means that nothing can sneak up on us. If a star explodes 1,000 light years away, the news of that explosion travels to us at the speed of light. We have 1,000 years of buffer time. If a spaceship were to set out from the nearest star today, traveling as fast as physics allows, it would still take years and years to arrive. There are no sudden knocks at the door in this universe. There are no surprise visitors. The laws of physics demand a long, slow approach. This creates a sense of deep, structural security. We are insulated by time itself. Think of the lag in a video game or a phone call. Usually, lag is annoying, but in the cosmos, lag is safety. The lag between the stars is so massive that it acts as a filter for intent. Aggression requires speed, conquest requires surprise, but you cannot have surprise in a universe where the fastest message takes 4 years to cross the street. The distances force everyone to be patient. They force a kind of cosmic politeness. You cannot simply barge in on a neighbor. The journey is too long, the energy cost is too high, and the time commitment is too great. The distance keeps everyone in their own lane. It encourages civilizations to stay home, to tend to their own gardens, to solve their own problems, rather than looking outward for trouble. So, when you look at the black space between the stars, do not see it as empty. See it as a thick, heavy blanket. You know the feeling of pulling a weighted blanket up to your chin. It presses down on you, making you feel held, making you feel contained. The interstellar medium is that blanket. It wraps around the heliosphere, the bubble of our sun, and tucks us in. It separates us from the chaos at the galactic center. Out there, in the core of the Milky Way, things are frantic. Stars are whipping around a supermassive black hole at incredible speeds. Radiation levels are high. It is a noisy, dangerous, crowded downtown district. But we are out here in the suburbs. We are in the quiet countryside of the Orion Arm. The houses are far apart. The roads are dark and quiet. The only sound is the wind in the trees. This isolation is a luxury. It is the most expensive real estate in the galaxy. We have been given the gift of privacy. Think of how much people pay for privacy on Earth. They buy private islands. They build high walls. They plant hedges. They want to create distance between themselves and the world. We have been given the ultimate private island for free. The universe has gifted us a buffer zone that is mathematically perfect. Let us visualize crossing this moat. Imagine you are a traveler leaving the solar system. You pass Pluto, the silent sentinel on the edge of the light. You pass the Oort cloud, a shell of icy comets that drift like ghosts in the dark. And then you enter the deep water, the space between the stars. It is so quiet here that human ears would strain to hear the blood pumping in your own veins. It is a deep, velvety black, darker than any night you have ever seen. But it is not scary. It is calm. It is like floating in the middle of a Pacific Ocean that has no waves, no storms, and no sharks. It is just water, endless, flat, calm water. You travel for miles, for millions of miles, for billions of miles, and still, you are in the buffer zone. You are in the no man's land that protects the Earth. If there were monsters in the universe, they would have to swim across this ocean to get to us, and the ocean is so wide that they would tire out long before they reached the shore. The ocean is so wide that they would likely forget why they started swimming in the first place. The distance wears down ambition. It wears down hostility. It leaves only silence. This is why the universe is so quiet. It is not because it is empty of life. It is because the architecture of the universe favors quiet. The layout of the galaxy discourages noise. To shout across these distances, you would need to scream with the energy of a sun, and even then, the sound would fade to a whisper by the time it reached the listener. The universe is designed to dampen the volume. It is a soundproofed room. The walls are lined with light years of foam and velvet. You can scream, you can shout, you can broadcast all the radio waves you want, but the distance will swallow it up, soften it, and turn it into silence. This should make you feel incredibly safe in your bed. You are not just protected by the walls of your house. You are not just protected by the atmosphere of your planet. You are protected by the geography of the galaxy. You are sitting in the safest seat in the theater, far away from the speakers, far away from the stage, in a private box with velvet curtains drawn. You can watch the show if you want, or you can close your eyes and sleep. The noise cannot reach you. Let's look at our neighbors again. Alpha Centauri, a triple star system, 3 suns dancing together. It sounds beautiful, and it is. But imagine if they were closer. Imagine if we had 3 suns in our sky. The night would never truly fall. The gravity would pull our tides into massive, flooding waves. The radiation would be intense. We would be sunburned and exhausted. We would be begging for some space. We would be begging for some distance. And the universe, in its wisdom, has given us exactly that. It has placed Alpha Centauri just far enough away to be a twinkling star, a pretty decoration, rather than a problem. It has placed us in a single star system, a rare oasis of stability where the light is constant and the gravity is simple. We often talk about the loneliness of the human species, but loneliness is just a negative word for solitude, and solitude is essential for rest. You cannot sleep in a crowded room. You cannot dream when someone is tapping you on the shoulder. Humanity is currently in a state of collective solitude, a timeout given to us by the cosmos. We are being given the space to grow up. We are like a child in a quiet room, given a set of blocks and told to play. The parents are in the other room. They haven't abandoned the child. They have just given them space to learn how to stack the blocks without interference. The distances ensure that no one comes in and knocks our tower over. The distances ensure that no one comes in and tells us how to play. We have total freedom. We have total autonomy. We are the masters of our own little island. And that freedom is only possible because of the moat. If the bridge were down, if the road were open, we would be flooded with influence, with commands, with visitors. But the bridge is up, the moat is full, the castle is secure. So, wrap yourself in the concept of light years. Let the phrase 2 light years become a mantra of safety. It means 4 years of absolute travel at the fastest speed possible. It means 4 years of warning. It means 4 years of buffer. And that is just the nearest neighbor. The others are hundreds, thousands, millions of years away. We are buried in safety. We are drowning in protection. The universe has gone to great lengths to ensure that you are not disturbed. Feel that distance, not as a void, but as a substance. Feel it pressing against the windows of the earth. It holds the atmosphere in. It holds the peace in. It is a heavy, silent pressure that keeps the chaos out. You are the jewel in the center of the vault. The steel walls of the vault are thick, the combination lock is complex, and the vault is buried deep underground. No one is coming to steal your peace. No one is coming to interrupt your dream. The silence you hear in the room right now is an extension of that cosmic silence. It is the local frequency of the universal peace. When you turn off the TV and turn off the phone and close your eyes, you are mimicking the galaxy. You are creating a little bubble of space around yourself. You are building your own moat. You are pushing the world away, light year by light year, until the worries of the day are as distant as the stars. You are creating a buffer zone between you and tomorrow. Let the distance serve you. Let the vastness of space be the wall that backs you. You can lean against it. It is solid. It is immovable. It will not crumble. The stars will not fall. The distances will not shrink. The laws of physics will not change while you sleep. The speed of light will hold the line. The moat will hold the water. The castle is safe. As we drift further into this protected state, we can begin to wonder about the nature of the silence itself. If the universe is so safe and so protected, perhaps the silence is not just a lack of noise. Perhaps it is a choice. Perhaps the other beings in the universe, if they are out there, across the water, are doing exactly what we are doing. Perhaps they are resting. In the next chapter of our story, we will explore the idea that the universe is not empty, but merely sleeping. We will explore the idea of the Aestivation, the great summer sleep, and see if we can join the elders in their long, peaceful nap. But for now, just float in the moat, float in the calm, dark water of the distance, and feel how good it is to be unreachable. There is a common mistake we make when we imagine the future. We tend to picture it as busy. We imagine that a civilization 1,000,000 years older than us must be a civilization of constant motion. We picture highways of light spanning between the stars. We picture giant metal ships docking at space stations, buzzing with trade and negotiation. We picture an endless expansion, a hunger to eat up every galaxy, every planet, and every asteroid. We project our own busyness onto the cosmos. We are busy, so we assume the gods must be busy too. We assume that intelligence always wants to conquer, to move, to shout, and to build. But there is another school of thought. It is a whisper among the futurists, a theory that feels more like a bedtime story than a scientific hypothesis. It is called the Aestivation hypothesis. Aestivation is a beautiful word. It is the summer version of hibernation. Animals hibernate to sleep through the cold winter, but some animals aestivate to sleep through the heat of the summer. They burrow into the cool mud, slowing their hearts, waiting for the scorching sun to pass, waiting for a more comfortable season. This theory suggests that the universe is currently in its summer. It is still too hot. It is still too energetic. And so, the smartest beings in the universe, the ones who have been around for billions of years, have decided not to conquer it. They have decided to sleep through it. Imagine a civilization that has won the game of history. They have solved all their problems. They have cured every disease. They have answered every question of physics. They have written every song that can be written and painted every canvas. They have explored their local cluster of stars and found that, mostly, it is just rock and gas. They have reached a point of saturation. There is nothing left to do in the physical world that is worth the energy. The physical world is messy. It is dangerous. It is limited by friction and gravity. So, they turn inward. They realize that the true frontier is not the dead space outside, but the living space inside the mind. They realize that a simulated reality, a perfect digital dream, is far richer, far safer, and far more beautiful than the crude reality of dirt and stone. They build vast, silent machines, great, monolithic computers the size of moons. They park these machines in the darkest, coldest corners of the galaxy, far away from the noisy stars, deep in the shadows of the void. And then, they upload themselves. They transfer the consciousness of their entire species into the machine, and then they go to sleep. Why would they do this? Why sleep? It comes down to the simple law of energy. Processing information, thinking, dreaming, creating, creates heat. Computers hate heat. Your laptop gets hot when it works too hard. The harder it works, the hotter it gets, and the less efficient it becomes. The same applies to the giant cosmic brains of the future. The universe right now is filled with the background heat of the Big Bang. It is, cosmically speaking, a sweltering summer afternoon. But if they wait, if they sleep, the universe will expand. It will cool down. In a few trillion years, the universe will be near absolute zero. It will be the perfect, frosty environment for deep thought. In the cold future, a single thought will cost almost no energy. They will be able to process 1 billion years of happiness for the price of a single second of now. So, the silence we hear in the sky is not the silence of an empty house. It is the silence of a house where everyone has gone to bed early to beat the heat. The aliens are not hiding. They are aestivating. They are napping. They have hung a do not disturb sign on their solar systems. They have powered down their transmitters, turned off their engines, and dimmed the lights. They have retreated into the ultimate luxury, a sleep that lasts for eons. Visualize these sleeping giants. Drift through the darkness of space in your mind's eye. Far out in the empty spaces between the spiral arms of the galaxy, floating in the absolute stillness, you find them. They look like dark, geometric shapes against the stars, a perfect black sphere, smooth as obsidian, or a silent, silver monolith, slowly rotating in the void. There are no windows, there are no engines, there is no exhaust. To a passing traveler, they look like dead stones, but inside, they are alive with a vibrancy we cannot imagine. Inside the machine, billions of minds are weaving a shared dream. Because they control the simulation, they have removed all pain, they have removed fear, they have removed loss. In their dream, they can fly. In their dream, they can build cities of glass that float in pink clouds. They can relive their favorite memories on an infinite loop. They can spend 1,000 years simply watching a sunset and never get bored, because they can adjust their own minds to always feel wonder. They are living in a paradise of their own design, suspended in a state of permanent, lucid bliss. They have traded the chaotic, noisy, dangerous universe of matter for the peaceful, ordered, eternal universe of the mind. They have realized that doing is primitive, being is advanced. The ultimate sign of power is not how much you can destroy or how much you can build. The ultimate sign of power is the ability to close your eyes, ignore the universe, and be perfectly content. This redefines what it means to be advanced. We often feel guilty for resting. We live in a society that tells us that productivity is the only virtue. We are told to hustle, to grind, to burn the candle at both ends. We feel that if we are not moving, we are failing. If we are sleeping, we are wasting time. But look at the elders. Look at the Aestivators. They are the smartest beings in time and space, and they have chosen to do absolutely nothing. They have chosen to stop. They have chosen to rest. If the gods are sleeping, why shouldn't you? Perhaps your desire to sleep right now is not a sign of weakness. Perhaps it is a sign of evolution. Perhaps, at the end of a long day, you are tapping into that cosmic wisdom. You have worked, you have solved problems, you have moved objects around in the physical world, You have dealt with the heat and the friction of the day, and now you have reached the point of diminishing returns. To keep working now would be inefficient. To keep thinking now would be a waste of energy. The smartest thing you can do, the most advanced, strategic move you can make, is to shut down the engines. Think of your bedroom as your own personal Aestivation chamber. It is cool, it is dark, it is separated from the noise of the world. You have created the perfect conditions for hibernation. When you close your eyes, you are uploading yourself into your own private simulation. You are entering the dream world, where the laws of physics don't apply, where you can fly, where you can visit the past, where you can simply float. Sleep is not a pause in your life, it is a destination. It is a place you go to be free. The Aestivation hypothesis suggests that the majority of the universe is asleep. This means that when you fall asleep, you are not leaving the world behind. You are joining the majority. You are syncing up with the rhythm of the cosmos. The great silence is simply the collective rhythm of 1 trillion minds breathing in unison, deep in the REM cycle of the ages. The universe is a dormitory. The lights are out. The breathing is slow. You are just the last one to tuck yourself in. There is a profound comfort in this camaraderie. You are not lazy for wanting to sleep. You are just late to the party. The smartest ones went to bed billions of years ago. They are waiting for you. They are waiting for the universe to calm down, just as you are waiting for your mind to calm down. They know that there is nothing out there in the dark that is more important than the peace in here. In the mind, imagine the sheer patience of the sleepers. They are willing to wait trillion of years for the perfect moment. They are in no rush. They have let go of the fear of missing out. They know that the stars will still be there when they wake up. They know that the galaxy isn't going anywhere. They trust the process of time. You can borrow that patience. You don't need to solve everything tonight. You don't need to figure out your 5-year plan in the next 5 minutes. You can wait. You can let the time pass. You can let the world spin without your help. It will be there in the morning. Feel the connection between the silence in your room and the silence of the black monoliths floating in space. It is the same silence. It is the sound of processing power being diverted to dreams. When a computer goes into sleep mode, the fan stops whirring. The screen goes black. The little light pulses slowly. It looks dead, but it is just saving itself. It is protecting its battery. You are in sleep mode. You are protecting your battery. The silence is your charging cable. Let us drift past one of these great sleeping stones in our imagination. It is vast, kilometers wide, hanging in the deep shadow behind a rogue planet. It is perfectly still. It is colder than ice. But if you could place your hand against its surface, you would feel a faint, rhythmic thrum. Thump, 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 thump. It is the heartbeat of a civilization. 1 billion souls dreaming of a golden city. They are safe inside. The asteroid storms pass them by. The radiation waves wash over them and do no harm. They are armored in sleep. They have turned their vulnerability into a fortress. You, too, are armored in sleep. When you are asleep, the insults of the world cannot touch you. The worries of the bank account cannot reach you. The news cycle cannot find you. You are sealed inside the monolith of your dreams. You are impenetrable. Sleep is the ultimate shield. It is the one place where you are the god of your own reality. So, do not fight the heaviness in your eyelids. That heaviness is the gravity of the sleepers calling you home. It is the signal that it is time to join the Aestivation. The summer of the day is over. The heat is dissipating. The cool, dark winter of the night has arrived. It is time to burrow. It is time to sink down into the soft, cool mud of the subconscious. The universe approves of your rest. It has set the example. It has shown you that the ultimate goal of intelligence is not to work forever, but to rest forever. The destination of all life is peace, and you can have a taste of that ultimate destination right now, tonight. You don't have to wait for the heat death of the universe. You don't have to build a moon-sized computer. You just have to let go. You just have to trust the pillow. Listen to the silence again. It has changed, hasn't it? It is no longer an empty, lonely silence. It is a heavy, pregnant silence. It is the silence of a library, or a nursery, or a cathedral. It is a silence that is full of intent. It is the sound of the universe holding space for the dreamers. The stars are the nightlights, the blackness is the blanket, and the silence is the lullaby. As you drift deeper, imagine that you are sending a signal to those sleeping giants. A simple mental message: I'm joining you. You are logging off the network of the awake and logging into the network of the asleep. You are becoming a member of the Aestivation. You are becoming one of the dark, silent stones floating in the peace of the void. There is nothing left to do. The work is done. The day is finished. The data has been processed. Now, there is only the cooling. Now, there is only the drift. Now, there is only the beautiful, endless, velvet sleep. The river of time is deep, and it is wide, and it flows through the canyon of the universe with a power that we can barely comprehend. We are all travelers on this river. We build our little rafts of days and years, and we push off from the shore, trusting the current to carry us. When we lie in bed at night and close our eyes, we can almost feel the gentle motion of that drift. It is a slow, steady forward pull, moving us from the memory of yesterday into the mystery of tomorrow. But the river is long, so incredibly long, that we can only see the tiny stretch of water around us. We see the ripples that our own hands make. We see the other rafts that are floating right beside us, our friends, our families, our generation. But we cannot see around the bend of the river. We cannot see the water that flowed 1,000,000 years ago, and we cannot see the water that will flow 1,000,000 years from now. This limited view is what creates the mystery of the silence. We look at the stars and we ask, where are the others? We assume that if the river is full of water, it must be full of travelers. But the universe works on a scale that defies our intuition. It works on the scale of deep time. To understand this, we must leave the river for a moment and step onto the porch of a quiet summer house, deep in the woods. Imagine it is late July. The air is warm and heavy, smelling of pine needles and damp earth. The sun went down hours ago, and the forest is wrapped in a thick, velvet darkness. You are sitting in a rocking chair, just watching the trees. The only sound is the rhythmic, hypnotic chirping of the crickets, a sound that weaves a curtain of white noise around the house. You are relaxed, you are waiting. And then, you see it. A tiny, yellow-green spark flares to life in the black air. A firefly. It hovers for a moment, painting a small loop of light against the shadows, a silent signal in the dark. It glows for 3 seconds, beautiful and bright, and then it blinks off. The darkness rushes back in to fill the space where the light used to be. You continue to watch. You rock slowly in your chair. The crickets continue their song. 10 minutes pass, 20 minutes pass. The night deepens. And then, way off in the distance, near the edge of the old oak tree, another spark flares up. Another firefly. It dances its own little dance, flashing its message to the world. It glows for 3 seconds, and then it too fades away. To you, the watcher on the porch, the forest feels empty. You saw one light, and then a long stretch of darkness, and then another light. You never saw 2 lights at the same time. You never saw a swarm. The 2 fireflies never saw each other. The first one lived its entire life, shone its brightest light, and faded back into the mystery long before the second one ever woke up. They both existed in the same forest. They both breathed the same air. They both flew under the same moon. But they were separated by the insurmountable wall of time. They were ships passing in the night, missing each other by mere minutes in the grand scheme of the evening. This is the ships in the night theory of the cosmos. It suggests that the universe is indeed a forest full of fireflies. It suggests that life is natural and common and beautiful. But it also suggests that a civilization is a spark that lasts only for a moment. In the eyes of the universe, 100,000 years, the entire history of humanity, is less than a single blink. It is a flash of yellow light in a dark eternity. The reason we see silence when we look up is not because the forest is dead. It is because the timing is mismatched. Imagine the timeline of the galaxy as a ruler that stretches from one side of the continent to the other. Let's say it stretches from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. That is the history of the Milky Way. On that massive ruler, the entire existence of the human species, from the first stone tool to the rocket ship, is thinner than a single sheet of paper. Now, imagine dropping that single sheet of paper onto the road somewhere in Kansas. What are the odds that another sheet of paper, another civilization, is dropped exactly on top of it? The odds are vanishingly small. The other sheets of paper are scattered all along the highway. Some are back in Ohio, representing empires that rose and fell billions of years ago. Some are ahead in Colorado, representing worlds that haven't even cooled down yet. We are alone on our little section of the road. And this brings us to a feeling that we often struggle with, the fear of missing out. We call it FOMO. We feel it when we miss a party, or when we see our friends having fun without us. And on a cosmic scale, we feel a deep, existential FOMO. We feel like we missed the galactic party. We imagine that 1 billion years ago, the galaxy was loud and vibrant. We imagine that the spiral arms were lit up with trade routes and alliances, that great ships moved between the stars like ferries on a busy harbor. We imagine that the radio spectrum was full of music and wisdom, and we missed it. We arrived too late. The party is over. The guests have gone home, and we are walking through the empty streamers and the quiet halls. Or we worry that we are too early. We worry that the real party is scheduled for 1 billion years from now, when the stars are more stable and the universe is wiser. We worry that we are the lonely setup crew, arriving before the music starts, doomed to wait in the silence while the future prepares to be born. But there is another way to look at this, a gentler way, a way that helps you sleep. If we are ships passing in the night, it means we have the ocean to ourselves. It means we have the luxury of the lull. Nature is built on rhythms. The tide comes in, crashing and energetic, and then the tide goes out, leaving the sand smooth and quiet. The heart contracts, pumping blood with force, and then the heart relaxes, filling up in silence. The day is for noise, the night is for stillness. Why shouldn't the galaxy have these same rhythms? Perhaps the universe breathes. Perhaps civilizations are the inhale, the moment of activity and growth. And then, inevitably, comes the exhale, the moment of release, of settling, of quiet. We might simply be living in a great exhale. We are living in a cosmic lull, and a lull is a beautiful thing. Ask any parent what they value most, and they will tell you the nap time, the quiet hour, the moment when the house stops shaking and peace descends. Ask any worker what they crave, and they will say the break, the weekend, the vacation. Humanity is currently on a cosmic vacation. We are living in a calm stretch of the river, where the rapids are behind us and the waterfall is far ahead. Think of the factory shift metaphor. Imagine a massive, beautiful factory that runs for eternity. There is the morning shift, the afternoon shift, and the night shift. The workers on the night shift never see the workers on the morning shift. They share the same space, the same machines, the same coffee pot. But they never meet. We are on the cosmic night shift. The morning shift clocked out a long time ago. They did their work, they built their wonders, and they left. The afternoon shift hasn't punched in yet. It is just us. The factory is quiet. The overhead lights are dimmed. The hum of the ventilation is low and soothing. We have the run of the place. This solitude is not a punishment, it is a privilege. If the galaxy were crowded right now, if we were overlapping with 10 other advanced empires, think of the noise, think of the chaos. We would be fighting for space. We would be fighting for resources. We would be worried about borders and treaties and conflicts. We would be looking over our shoulders, wondering who was watching us. But because we are alone in time, we have no competitors, we have no rivals. We are the undisputed masters of our own era. We have been given a playground that is completely empty. We can build our sandcastles on the beach of the cosmos, and there is no one there to kick them over. We have the freedom of the empty house. You know that feeling when you have the house to yourself for the weekend? You can play your music, you can dance in the kitchen, you can sleep in the middle of the day. There is a specific kind of relaxation that only comes when you know you are truly alone. That is the relaxation the universe is offering us right now. It has cleared the schedule. It has cancelled the appointments. It has hung a sign on the door of the solar system that says, private event. So, let go of the need to be connected to the past or the future. Let go of the sadness of the missed connection. The firefly does not weep because it missed the other fireflies. It does not fly around frantically trying to find them. It simply glows. It does its job. It adds its tiny, beautiful bit of light to the dark, and that is enough. Its purpose is not to be seen by others. Its purpose is to be the light in its own moment. You are that firefly. You are a tiny, warm spark of consciousness in a vast, dark forest. You might feel small, but look at how bright you are against the black. Your ability to feel, to dream, to love, to rest. This is the light. You are blinking on right now, and the universe is watching. The trees are watching. The silence is watching. You are not missing out on life. You are the event. You are the happening. This specific moment, this year, this night, this hour is unique. The stars you see out of your window are arranged in a pattern that will never be repeated. In 1,000,000 years, the constellations will have drifted apart. The Big Dipper will be broken. Orion will have lost his belt. The sky will look completely different to the eyes of the future. The view you have right now is a limited edition. It is a private showing, arranged just for you and the people alive with you. You are the exclusive audience for this specific act of the cosmic play. So, why wish you were in another theater? Why wish you were watching a different play? This one is beautiful. This one is yours. The ships in the night theory teaches us to stop looking for the other ships and just enjoy the sailing. Look at the water around your raft. It is calm. The reflection of the moon on the waves is silver and steady. The air is cool and clean. The current is gentle. You don't have to paddle. You don't have to steer. The river of time knows where it is going. It is carrying you gently downstream towards the soft, grey light of the morning. All those other rafts, the ones that came before, the ones that will come after, they are part of the same river. They are connected to you by the water. You are all touching the same stream of time, but they are miles away, around the bend. You can send them a silent thought. You can wish the ghosts of the past a good sleep. You can wish the children of the future a good journey. But then, bring your attention back to your own raft, back to your own breathing, back to the sensation of the sheets against your skin. This is your shift. This is your time. And it is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything. The universe has given you the gift of the now. It has wrapped you in the luxury of the lull. You are safe in the quiet gap between the waves. You are safe in the silence between the fireflies. The other ships are sailing their own oceans, under their own stars. Let them sail. You do not need to hail them. You do not need to signal them. You can just let your light glow softly, illuminating the small, safe circle of your own life. The ocean is empty. The radar is clear. The night is yours. And as you drift, knowing that you are the captain of this quiet, solitary vessel, you can feel the pressure lifting off your chest. There is no one to catch up to. There is no one to wait for. There is only the gentle rocking of the boat, the cool air of the open water, and the peace of a journey that belongs entirely to you. As we accept our place in this quiet lull, we can begin to understand that the silence is not just an accident of timing. It might be something even more profound. It might be a sign of maturity. As we drift further down the river, we will begin to see that noise is perhaps just a phase. We will explore the idea that as things grow older, they grow quieter. We will look at the great filter not as a wall, but as a sieve that catches the noise and lets the wisdom pass through. But for now, just drift. The water is smooth, the night is long, and you are exactly on time. There is a concept in the stories of science that often casts a long, dark shadow over our imagination. It is called the Great Filter. Usually, when people speak of this filter, they speak of it with a tremor in their voice. They imagine a great, cosmic wall that stands in the future of every civilization. They imagine a hurdle so high that no one can jump it, a trap so difficult that every species eventually falls into it. They look at the silence of the stars and they say, the silence is there because the filter works. The silence is the sound of failure. They fear that life is like a candle flame in a wind tunnel, doomed to be blown out before it can ever truly light up the room. They fear that the universe is a graveyard of good intentions. But tonight, let us take that scary story and turn it over in our hands. Let us look at it from a different angle, under a softer light. What if the great filter is not a wall of death? What if it is simply a filter of noise? Think about how a filter works in your own life. When you brew coffee, the filter does not destroy the water, it purifies it. It holds back the grit, the grounds, and the bitterness, allowing only the smooth, rich liquid to pass through. When you wear sunglasses, the lens does not destroy the light. It filters out the glare. It removes the harsh, blinding rays so that you can see the world more clearly, with less strain. A filter is not a weapon. It is a tool for refinement. It is a tool for clarity. Perhaps the universe has a similar mechanism. Perhaps the great filter is actually a great quieting. It is a natural stage in the evolution of any mind, a transition from the chaotic noise of youth to the peaceful silence of maturity. To understand this, we have to look at how we, as humans, behave. When we are young, when we are children and teenagers, we are loud. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We scream on the playground. We blast music from our cars. We wear bright clothes, and we broadcast our identity to anyone who will listen. We are desperate for validation. We are desperate to prove that we exist. Look at me is the anthem of the young. Civilizations are likely the same. When a species first discovers radio and television and rockets, they act like teenagers. They're excited by their new toys. They blast radio waves into the cosmos, leaking their news, their music, and their noise into the void. They shout into the dark, saying, "We are here. We matter. Look at us." This is the loud phase. It is a phase of messy expansion, of exploding bombs, of burning fuel, of broadcasting static. It is a phase of external validation. It is a noisy, chaotic time. But think about what happens when you grow up. As you get older, The need to shout fades away. You no longer need to blast music to feel something. You no longer need to stand in the center of the room and demand attention. You begin to value other things. You value peace. You value privacy. You value deep, quiet conversations with close friends over loud parties with strangers. You stop broadcasting your life to the world and start living it for yourself. You turn inward. You cultivate a garden. You read books. You learn to sit in a chair and just be. You become a wise elder. The great filter might simply be this process of growing up, applied to an entire planet. Maybe the reason we don't hear other civilizations is not because they have been destroyed, but because they have matured. They have passed through the filter of noise and come out on the other side as beings of silence. They have realized that shouting into the void is a waste of energy. They have realized that broadcasting radio waves, which gets weaker and weaker the further they travel, is an inefficient way to communicate. So, they stop, they turn off the transmitters, they dismantle the loudspeakers. Imagine the timeline of a civilization like a song. The beginning is a crashing crescendo of drums and cymbals, the Industrial Revolution, the Atomic Age, the space race. It is loud and exciting. But a song cannot be a drum solo forever. Eventually, the music changes. It slows down. The drums fade away. The melody becomes softer, deeper, more complex. It becomes a hum. It becomes a whisper. The advanced civilizations of the galaxy are playing the whisper. They are no longer interested in the noise of conquest. They are interested in the music of thought. This is the noise-cancelling theory of the universe. Evolution tends to favor efficiency. Noise is, by definition, inefficiency. Noise is wasted energy. Noise is friction. An engine that makes a lot of noise is a bad engine. It is shaking itself apart. A perfect engine hums so quietly you can barely hear it. A perfect mind thinks so smoothly it creates no static. As civilizations become more advanced, they become more efficient. They stop leaking energy. They stop leaking noise. They seal up the cracks. They become stealthy, not because they are hiding, but because they are tidy. So when we look up at the night sky and see only darkness and hear only static, we are not looking at a graveyard. We are looking at a library. We are looking at a monastery. The universe is filled with monks. These are species that have learned that the answers they seek are not out there in the cold, dead vacuum of space, but in here, in the warm, infinite landscape of the mind. Why fly to a distant star when you can simulate 1 billion stars in a computer the size of a grain of sand? Why conquer a galaxy when you can explore the infinite dimensions of philosophy, art, and mathematics, the outward expansion, the starships, the colonies, the empires? That is the game of the young. That is the game of the loud phase. The inward expansion, the simulation, the meditation, the dream. That is the game of the old. That is the game of the wise. The great filter gently catches the loud, aggressive species and says, "Not yet." It holds them back until they learn to settle down. It holds them back until they learn that power is not about making noise, but about creating peace. Only the quiet ones pass through. Only the peaceful ones inherit the stars. This reinterpretation changes the night sky from a scary place into a comforting one. The silence is not a sign that everyone is dead. It is a sign that everyone is polite. It is a sign that the universe is a neighborhood of very considerate residents who keep their volume down. It is a sign that the galaxy has put on its noise-cancelling headphones. It is focusing. It is thinking. It is dreaming. And this brings the story back to you. Lying in your bed, listening to these words. You, too, are going through a great filter right now. It is the filter of the night. All day long, you have been in the loud phase. You have been broadcasting. You have been speaking, typing, working, planning, and worrying. Your mind has been a radio station, sending out signals of stress and activity. You have been shouting, "I am here," to the world through your actions. You have been dealing with the friction of the day. But now, the day is over. The sun has gone down. The great quieting has arrived. It is time for you to evolve. It is time for you to pass through the filter. You need to transition from the loud, external creature of the daytime into the quiet, internal creature of the night. You need to become the wise elder of your own consciousness. Think of your thoughts as radio waves. Did I do enough? What about tomorrow? What if I fail? These are loud, messy signals. They are the static of a young, anxious mind. But you are not just a mind, you are a soul. And the soul knows the value of silence. The soul knows that those questions are just noise. They are just energy leaking out. The great filter of sleep is here to catch them. It is here to sieve them out. Imagine a beautiful, fine mesh descending over your mind. It is made of soft, golden light. It is permeable to peace, but impermeable to worry. As your thoughts try to rise up, the loud ones, the sharp, jagged thoughts of the day, get caught in the mesh. They cannot pass. They are gently held back, dissolving into soft mist. But the quiet thoughts, the heavy, smooth, slow thoughts of rest, they slip right through. They pass through the filter and drift down into the deep, dark waters of sleep. You are turning off your transmitter. You are taking your hand off the dial. You are no longer broadcasting to the universe. You are no longer responsible for sending a signal. You are going dark. In the military, going dark means silence for safety. For you, going dark means silence for sanity. It means pulling your energy back inside. It means retracting your antennas. It means realizing that the world can spin without your commentary for the next 8 hours. This is the ultimate efficiency. To sleep is to save energy. To sleep is to become the perfect engine. When you are deeply asleep, your body hums with the quiet work of repair. Your cells are knitting themselves back together. Your brain is sorting memories, filing away the books in the library, sweeping the floors of the mind. This work can only happen in silence. It can only happen when the noise of the conscious mind is filtered out. If you are still broadcasting worry, the repair crew cannot work. You have to clear the floor. You have to hush the room. The great filter is your friend. It is the bouncer at the door of the club who says, "Sorry, the chaos can't come in here. This is a private party for peace." It is the thick velvet curtain that drops at the end of the play. The drama is over. The actors have left the stage. The lights are dimming. It is time for the audience to go home. Feel yourself becoming one of the advanced civilizations. Feel yourself letting go of the need to be loud. You don't need to prove anything right now. You don't need to justify your existence by thinking hard. You have permission to be quiet. You have permission to be internal. The most productive thing you can do right now is to do nothing. The most intelligent thing you can do right now is to ignore the data. Let the noise-cancelling headphones of the night wrap around your ears. Hear how the world dampens. The traffic outside is just a hush. The hum of the refrigerator is just a drone. The sound of your breath is the only thing that matters. You are joining the galactic monastery. You are sitting in the pew with the stars, and everyone is praying to the god of sleep. The ritual is simple. Close your eyes, slow your heart, and let the silence wash over you. The universe is not empty, it is just focused. It is focused on the beautiful, complex, internal work of existing. And now, you are focused too. You are filtering out the static. You are turning down the volume knob, slowly, gently, turning it to the left. From 10 down to 9, the noise is fading. Down to 8, the worries are muffled. Down to 7, the day is distant. Down to 6, the only sound is the rhythm of your blood. You are passing through the mesh. You are becoming pure. You are becoming quiet. You are evolving. The loud phase is over. The quiet phase has begun. And in this quiet, you will find that the universe is not a scary place at all. It is a soft place. It is a gentle place. It is a place where you can finally, truly rest. The filter has done its work. The noise is gone. Only the peace remains. And the peace is waiting to carry you down, deeper and deeper, into the great, wise silence of the dark. We have traveled far in our minds tonight. We have floated up from the quiet room, through the clouds, past the atmosphere, and out into the velvet deep of the galaxy. We have looked at the vast, empty spaces and seen them as a protective moat. We have looked at the silence and heard it as a library. We have looked at the timeline and realized we are the early risers in a sleeping house. But now, it is time to bring the journey back home. It is time to descend from the high orbit of philosophy and return to the specific, tangible reality of where you are right now. Come back to the room. Come back to the bed. Come back to the body. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. It is a heavy, comfortable sensation. Feel the blankets resting on top of you. A soft layer of warmth that separates you from the cool air of the room. Feel the stillness of your hands resting by your sides. Feel the slow, rhythmic expansion of your chest as the air moves in and out. You might think of this body as yours, a possession that belongs to you, a vehicle that you drive through the world. But it is much more than that. This body is not just a container for the universe, it is a piece of the universe. It is a borrowed landscape. It is a temporary gathering of ancient things. Let us trace the history of the things that make you you. Look at your hand in your mind's eye. Think of the bones inside that hand. The calcium that makes those bones hard and white did not start here on Earth. It was not created in a factory. It was forged in the heart of a dying star. Billions of years ago, before the sun was born, there was another star, a massive, ancient giant. It burned for millions of years, crushing atoms together in its core, creating heavier and heavier elements. It created the calcium that is now in your knuckles. It created the iron that is now floating in your blood, turning it red. It created the carbon that knits your skin together. When that star reached the end of its life, it did not just fade away. It gave a gift to the future. It exploded. It shattered itself in a supernova, a dazzling display of light and energy that scattered those elements across the cosmos. It threw the calcium, the iron, the gold, and the carbon out into the dark. Those great clouds of dust drifted for eons. They swirled and cooled. They eventually came together to form our solar system, our planet, and finally, you. This is not just a poetic metaphor. It is a literal truth. Every atom in your body is a traveler. Every atom in your eyelashes has been inside a volcano. Every atom in your blood has drifted through a nebula. You are made of star stuff. You are a collection of cosmic debris that has come together, just for a moment, to form a shape that can breathe. You are the universe's way of taking a physical form. You are a piece of the galaxy that has learned to walk, to think, and to feel. This realization changes the way we interpret the silence outside. If the universe is mostly dead rock and burning gas, then it is blind. A star, for all its power and heat, cannot see itself. It has no eyes. It cannot admire its own light. It cannot feel the warmth it generates. A nebula, for all its breathtaking colors of pink and violet, cannot appreciate its own beauty. It has no mind. It just exists, vast and unfeeling. The universe is a masterpiece, but without an observer, a masterpiece is just paint on a canvas in a dark room. It needs a witness. It needs an audience. That is where you come in. You are the witness. You are the audience. You are the eyes of the cosmos, because you are made of the universe. When you look up at the moon, it is the universe looking at itself. When you feel the cool air on your skin, it is the universe feeling itself. When you wonder about the stars, it is the universe wondering about itself. You are the mechanism by which the galaxy becomes aware of its own existence. You are the mirror. This gives your quiet existence a profound purpose. You don't have to build a rocket ship to be an astronaut. You are already an astronaut. You are the pilot of a biological ship made of ancient stardust. By simply lying here, by simply being conscious, you are doing something that the black holes and the supernovas cannot do. You are experiencing. You are feeling. You are giving the universe a point of view. The great silence we talked about earlier is not an emptiness, it is a listening. The universe is silent because it is waiting for you to speak. Not with words, the universe doesn't understand English or French, but with thoughts, with dreams, with feelings. Your internal world is the voice of the universe. When you feel peace, the universe feels peace. When you feel curiosity, the universe feels curiosity. You are the sensitive nerve ending of a vast numb body. So when you lie there in the dark, feeling small, remember that you are actually huge. Your consciousness is the rarest thing in the light years. The silence outside is not ignoring you, it is holding space for you. It is the silence of a theater waiting for the actor to whisper. It is the silence of a canyon waiting for the echo. You are the source of the meaning. Without you, the stars are just fire. With you, they are a story. Without you, the distance is just space. With you, it is a mystery. You bring the magic to the physics. This validates your need to rest. If you are the consciousness of the universe, then your rest is the universe's rest. When you are tired, it is the galaxy feeling the weight of its own gravity. When you close your eyes, it is the cosmos taking a break from the endless brilliance of the lights. You are doing a service to the whole, simply by taking care of the part. You are maintaining the instrument. You are polishing the lens. Let this feeling of empowerment wash over you. It is a quiet, humble empowerment. It doesn't ask you to go out and conquer the world. It asks you to go in and conquer the noise. It asks you to be a clear, calm channel. The clearer you are, the more clearly the universe can see itself. The calmer you are, the more the universe can feel its own peace. Think of the silence in your room as a substance. It is thick and rich. It is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of potential. It is like the blank page before the poem. It is like the silent moment before the orchestra begins. You are the musician. Your dreams are the music. The universe has built this quiet corner of the galaxy, protected by Jupiter, stabilized by the moon, shielded by the distance, just so you could have this moment of silence. It has done all the heavy lifting. It has moved the planets and cleared the asteroids just to give you a quiet room to sleep in. Why would it do that? Because it wants to know what it feels like to dream. It wants to know what it feels like to be safe through you. The universe is learning about softness. It is learning about comfort. It is learning about the joy of a heavy blanket and a cool pillow. These are experiences that a star can never have. These are experiences that a comet can never know. Only you can teach the universe about sleep. So, teach it. Show the universe how good it feels to let go. Show the vast, cold void how warm and sweet a biological life can be. Let your breath become a rhythmic signal to the stars, saying, "We are here. We are safe. We are resting." Let your slowing heart rate be a metronome for the spinning planets. You are the anchor. You are the center point. For tonight, the entire galaxy revolves around your bed. As you sink deeper into the mattress, imagine the atoms in your body relaxing. They have been traveling for billions of years to get here. They have been in the hearts of stars. They have been in the crash of meteors. They have been in the soil of ancient continents. And now, finally, they have found a place to stop. They have found a home in your bones, in your muscles, in your skin. They are tired of traveling. They want to stop moving. They want to rest. By sleeping, you are giving your atoms a vacation. You are letting the stardust settle. Feel the gratitude of your own body. It works so hard for you. It pumps and breathes and fires neurons without you ever having to ask. It is a loyal vessel. And tonight, you are rewarding it. You are giving it the gift of the great silence. You are turning off the demands. You are lowering the shields. You are telling every single cell in your body that the war is over. The work is done, and the peace has been won. You are the voice of the universe, and tonight, the voice is whispering hush. Tonight, the voice is singing a lullaby of silence. You are the one who decides what the universe means, and right now, you are deciding that it means peace. You are deciding that it means safety. You are deciding that it means sleep. The stars are watching you, not with judgment, but with envy. They have to burn, they have to shine, they have to hold their heavy orbits forever. But you get to close your eyes. You get to drift. You get to leave reality behind and enter the world of the mind. You have the freedom that the stars do not. You have the gift of the Aestivation. So, accept the role of the witness, but be a resting witness. You don't need to watch the world right now. You can watch the back of your eyelids. You can watch the slow, drifting colors of the hypnagogic state, those little blobs of blue and purple that float across your vision as you fall asleep. Those are the internal nebulae. Those are the internal galaxies. You are an explorer of the inner space now. The external world is safe. The physics are working. The gravity is holding. You can abandon your post at the window. You can come inside. The universe is big enough to take care of itself for 8 hours. It doesn't need you to manage it. It just needs you to be the place where it rests. Allow the concept of you to soften. If you are just a collection of atoms, then the line between you and the blanket is just a suggestion. The line between the air and your skin is blurry. The line between your mind and the silence is fading. You are melting back into the background. You are returning to the source. You are becoming the silence. We are almost there. We have traveled from the noise of the city to the silence of the stars. And now we have brought that silence back into the very center of your being. You are glowing with it. You are radiating peace. The universe is listening to your breathing, and it is pleased. It is content. The experiment is a success. The observer is at rest. In the final stage of our journey, we will let even this identity go. We will stop being the witness and just start being. We will dissolve the last remaining barriers and drift into the ultimate, dark, warm ocean of the sleep. We will merge with the great silence completely. But for now, hold on to this one last thought. You are precious. You are rare. You are the eyes of the ancient dark. And you are very, very tired. Close your eyes. Watcher. The stars will keep watch for you tonight. We have arrived at the edge of the water. We have walked a long path tonight, through the valleys of the mind and across the mountains of the stars. We have carried the heavy backpack of thought, filled with questions, filled with theories, filled with the desire to understand. We have looked at the universe and tried to name it. We have tried to measure it. We have tried to find our place within it. But now, the walking is over. The path has ended at the shore of a vast, calm, dark ocean. The journey of the intellect is finished. The journey of the spirit, the journey of rest is just beginning. It is time to take off the backpack. It is time to set down the heavy burden of being a person who needs to know things. You do not need to know anything anymore. You only need to feel. Let us gently dismantle the world we have built. We built a library in our minds. Let the walls of that library dissolve. Imagine the books turning into white birds and flying away into the night. We built a castle with a moat. Let the stones of the castle turn into mist. Let the moat expand until it covers the whole world. We spoke of shields and filters and timelines. Let them all fade. They were just maps. And you do not need a map to sleep. You do not need to navigate anymore. You are not going anywhere. You are just being here. Feel the boundaries of your room beginning to soften. You know that there are walls around you, and a ceiling above you, and a floor beneath you. But in the dark, with your eyes closed, those solid lines are beginning to blur. The air in the room is merging with the air outside. The darkness behind your eyes is merging with the darkness of the room, and the darkness of the room is merging with the darkness of the night sky. There is no inside and no outside anymore. There is only one continuous space, a space of quiet, a space of peace. Imagine that the ceiling above you is turning into a vapor. It is drifting away like smoke, and above it, the roof is turning into transparency. There is nothing between you and the stars now, but the stars are not far away. They are not distant fires anymore. They are just a soft, glowing presence in the room with you. The distance has collapsed. The universe has come close. It has curled up around you like a sleeping cat. Feel the boundary of your own body beginning to loosen. You are often so defined by the shape of your skin, by the heaviness of your limbs. But now, as you lie perfectly still, it becomes hard to tell where your skin ends and the air begins. The warmth of your body radiates out into the sheets, and the coolness of the air settles on your skin. There is an exchange happening. You are breathing the universe in, and you are breathing the universe out. With every breath, the line becomes fainter. You are melting into the mattress. You are melting into the silence. Think of a cube of sugar placed in a cup of warm tea. At first, it is a hard, square block. It has sharp edges. It is defined. But as it sits in the warmth, the edges begin to soften. The grains begin to loosen. It holds its shape for a moment, and then, gently, it gives way. It dissolves. It becomes part of the tea. It spreads out. It is no longer a cube. It is the sweetness in the water. You are that cube of sugar. The great silence is the warm water. You are letting go of your hard edges. You are letting go of your definition. You are dissolving into the night. You are becoming the sweetness in the silence. Let the name you call yourself drift away. Names are for the daytime. Names are for labels and forms. In the deep ocean of sleep, there are no names. There are no titles. There are no jobs. There are no histories. There is only the presence. Let the story of who you are and what you did today float away like a leaf on a river. Watch it drift downstream, getting smaller and smaller until it disappears around the bend. You do not need to chase it. It will be there tomorrow if you want it. But for now, you are free of it. You are anonymous. You are weightless. You are just a point of awareness floating in the dark. Visualize a small wooden boat. It is a simple boat, old and weathered, floating on a lake that is as flat as a mirror. The water is dark, reflecting the black sky. You are lying in the bottom of this boat, on a pile of soft cushions. You are warm. You are safe. The boat is tied to a dock by a single rope. That rope is your connection to the waking world. It is the rope of your thoughts, your worries, your plans. Now, in your mind, reach out and untie the knot. It is a loose knot. It slips apart easily. The rope falls into the water with a silent splash. The boat is free. Feel the gentle motion as the boat begins to drift. There are no oars. You do not need to row. There is a gentle, unseen current in this lake that moves you slowly, steadily, away from the shore. The shore is the day. See the lights of the shore getting smaller. The noise of the shore is fading. The static of the land is being left behind. You are moving out into the center of the lake. You are moving into the great silence. The silence here is physical. It is not just the lack of sound. It is a texture. It feels like velvet against your cheek. It feels like a heavy blanket tucked around your shoulders. It is a silence that has weight. It presses down on your eyelids, keeping them closed. It presses down on your limbs, keeping them heavy. It is a comforting pressure, like a hug from the night itself. Drift further. The water is deep and cool. This is the water of the cosmos. This is the same darkness that sits between the galaxies. But here, it is not empty. It is filled with potential. It is filled with rest. Every inch of this darkness is a pillow for your mind. You can rest your head anywhere. Listen to the rhythm of the drift. There is no sound of waves, only the feeling of movement, a slow, rocking sensation, rocking back and forth, like a cradle. The universe is rocking you. It has been rocking you since you were born, and it will rock you until you wake. You are safe in the cradle of gravity. You are safe in the cradle of time. Allow your mind to become like the surface of the lake. Earlier, there were ripples. There were waves of anxiety, splashes of stress. But now, the wind has died down. The weather has cleared. The surface is smoothing out. Watch the last few ripples fade away. Watch the water become glass. It is so still that it reflects the silence perfectly. There is no distortion. There is no agitation. There is only the smooth, black glass of deep sleep. If a thought comes to you now, do not fight it. Just watch it. It is a bird flying over the lake. It casts a small shadow, and then it is gone. It does not touch the water. It does not disturb the boat. Let it fly. Let it go. You are deeper than the thought. You are the water, not the bird. You are the silence, not the sound. Sinking deeper now, the boat is dissolving too. You do not need the boat. You can float in this darkness on your own. You are buoyant. The silence holds you up. You are drifting in a suspension of stars. Above you, below you, around you, it is all the same. Soft, dark, peaceful space. There is nothing you need to do here. There is no one you need to be. The universe does not ask for your tax returns. It does not ask for your emails. It does not ask for your apologies or your explanations. It only asks for your rest. It demands your surrender. And it is so easy to surrender. It is the easiest thing in the world. You just stop holding on. You just open your hands and let the tension fall out of them like sand. Feel your hands opening. Feel the sand falling. Feel your jaw loosening. Feel the sand falling. Feel your shoulders dropping. Feel the heavy sand of the day pouring out of you, sinking down into the deep, leaving you light and clean. You are empty of worry. You are empty of tomorrow. You are filled only with the now, and the now is quiet. The great silence is a river, and you are flowing with it. It flows towards the sea of sleep. It is a slow river, a lazy river. It moves at the speed of drifting continents. It moves at the speed of growing grass. Slow down your internal clock to match it. Tick, tick, tick. There is so much space between the seconds. There is enough time in a single second to take a nap. There is enough time in a single breath to heal. You are merging with the source. You are returning to the factory settings of the soul. Before you were busy, you were quiet. Before you were anxious, you were still. That stillness is still there, buried deep under the noise. And now, you have dug down to find it. You have returned to the bedrock. This peace is yours. It cannot be taken away from you. It is the foundation of your existence. The darkness is wrapping you up. It is swaddling you. It is a cocoon of safety. Inside this cocoon, you are being renewed. You are being repaired. The silence is a medicine. Drink it in. Let it soak into your pores. Let it soothe the tired muscles behind your eyes. Let it smooth out the furrow in your brow. You are safe. You are so incredibly safe. You are protected by the distance of light years. You are hidden in the tall grass of the galaxy. No one can find you here. No one is looking for you. You have escaped. You have gotten away clean. You are a fugitive from the noise. And you have found sanctuary in the silence. Drift, float, sink. The words are becoming sounds. The sounds are becoming vibrations. The narrative is ending. The story is over. There is no more story. There is only the feeling of heavy, warm, dark sleep. Let us count down, not with numbers, but with the fading of the light. The last candle in the library flickers and goes out. The room is dark. The last firefly in the forest blinks and fades. The woods are dark. The last star in the sky pulls a cloud over its face. The space is dark. The last thought in your mind dissolves into mist. The mind is dark. You are one with the great silence. You are the silence. Rest in it. Trust it. Sleep. Sleep. The universe is sleeping with you. Good night.